Iowa's pheasants are nearing record population lows as hunters bring home fewer and fewer birds. But what's to blame? Is it too much moisture? Is it agriculture? DNR wildlife biologist Todd Bogenschutz says it's not that simple.
The biggest impact on us recently here in the last couple of years has just been the series of winters we've had. We've had bad winters and a lot of flooding, 2008 and this year. And I know folks think well, certainly Iowa's had bad weather before, and that is true, but the difference this time around is just the timing of it, the consecutive nature of it. We've had 4 consecutive winters now with 30 to 40 inches of snow. We've had 30, 40-inch snow winters before, but not 4 consecutively.
Regardless of habitat or weather, pheasant hunters and some conservationists are searching for new ideas. A bill aimed at boosting pheasant populations sailed through the Iowa State House in 2010. That measure legalized the practice of releasing farm-raised pheasants on private land. The exercise isn't new to Iowa, but only licensed game preserves could previously buy pen-reared birds for release.
We certainly would like to see the wild bird population recover because with that comes a crop of hunters.
At Doc's Hunt Club near Adel, Iowa, hunters come for a scheduled expedition. No worries about a 3-hour walk without birds here. Customers purchase the number of pheasants to be preset for their hunt and give their dogs an outdoor workout.
We buy pheasants and chukar and quail from various suppliers who raise the birds. We work actively to find the suppliers that have the most healthy, best flying birds. Healthy is key. And we buy birds in smaller quantities to make sure the birds are still in good shape.
We've had a number of calls, people calling us and asking about it and asking how to release and how to go about that. So I think we'll see a number of birds released next year by individuals.
Bud Wood leads Murray McMurray Hatchery in Webster City, where millions of chicks are hatched and shipped across the country every year. Murray McMurray is one of 3 hatcheries that can legally sell pen-raised pheasants for release by Iowa landowners.
For 120 birds, you could get started for under $300. You're going to have some other costs, feed and some equipment, but in that range.
Murray McMurray's pheasants make a hundreds-mile-long journey from southern Wisconsin and the nation's largest pheasant farm. MacFarlane Pheasants of Janesville, Wisconsin produced over 1.5 million chicks and 400,000 mature birds in 2010 alone, many of which can be found here at MacFarlane's acres of outdoor netted pens filled with ringneck pheasants.
We produce eggs, we collect the eggs, we hatch the eggs. Just like other types of agriculture, we raise the young birds up till they're able to go out in these pens, and then they're brought out in these pens and they're raised till they're mature, and then we catch them up and ship them off to our customers. These birds will travel real well. They're protected in these crates, have virtually no mortality on the way to Wyoming. We'll be there tomorrow morning. They'll be unloaded tomorrow morning.
Bill MacFarlane argues that pen-raised pheasants have a role to play in repopulating states like Iowa. But the DNR's top upland game specialist is skeptical.
The DNR's also looked at using pen-raised birds with turkeys and whatnot, and pheasants. And the survival of pen-reared birds is just abysmal. I mean, it's basically a complete failure every time we've evaluated it.
There's no doubt with the loss of habitat, if the wild pheasants went away and you release pen-raised birds into a place where the wild pheasants weren't able to live, the pen-raised pheasants aren't going to be able to live either. That just makes sense. Pen-raised birds have been brought up here on a pheasant farm, raised in pen conditions. I'm not going to say that our birds are as wild or ever could be as wild as a wild pheasant. But again, those wild pheasants that are out in Iowa at one point came from game farm pheasants.
According to the Iowa DNR, ringnecks were accidentally released for the first time in the early 1900s during a severe windstorm that wrecked the pens of a game breeder near Cedar Falls. The DNR later began stocking pheasants around 1910. A familiar tagline for the conservation group Pheasants Forever is Habitat, Habitat, Habitat. The latest PF initiative is just that, hiring young biologists to cultivate new CRP opportunities and reload Iowa. But it won't be easy. Hunters and conservationists can only hope for a mild winter and a drier spring. The diehards amongst us may even try a new venture, hoping to buy back the glory days of Iowa's ringneck pheasant.